Welcome, everybody, to the 24/7 postgame show. I can see everyone's fired up. The Jaguars come away with a 34-20 win in Denver, and they are one step closer to clinching the AFC South. Noah Schlicksup, Chandler Dantlzer. We've got Shaq Quarterman joining us here in the studio. Shaq, it's great to have you here on the show.
No, man, it's great to be here, man. I'm excited, man. I'm excited coming off of this win, man. On the road, I'm excited.
I can hear Dan a little bit. We're going to have video from Dan Hicken coming in. Are we able to go to that right now, Chandler?
Let's see. Let's do it.
Here's Dan Hicken with his immediate post-game thoughts.
Washington, what a throw, what a catch. That got him going 21 yards, right? 20. Now look at this. Bang! You can't do that. You can't do that. That's a 15-yard penalty, kept the drive going. And then this beautiful throw to Parker Washington for the touchdown. Jaguars strike first. They're up 7-0. More Jags. ETN, tough running today. But look at everybody blocking.
We've still got Dan on. There we go. We've got our immediate post-game thoughts. We'll have Dan Hicken coming up. Right now, we want to get this chat going as much as possible. We want to hear from you guys, so hop on YouTube. Let's get your questions, your comments on the game. Questions for Shaq Quarterman. We'll relay this. First off, Shaq, your thoughts on this game, this performance from the Jaguars.
I think this performance really helped build confidence. I think the Jags are playing extremely well down the stretch. You know, from what I know, they remember what you do in November, and the Jazz continue to keep it going even in December, man. So it's great to see. It's great to see.
How about Trevor Lawrence and his progression these past few weeks? Because right now, he is playing some next-level football at quarterback.
Man, all I can say is rumble, young man, rumble, man. I think he's doing a great job. I mean, Trevor does – I just know he does a lot of work, man. So to see it, come to fruition – with the guys, man, he's feeding the guys. It seems like they're all working together as a team, man. I just don't change nothing, man. Don't change nothing.
I love it because over the past few weeks, it's been, Trevor's playing good, and, people will go out there, well, it's against the Titans, it's against the Jets, and then he goes out here against one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they put up more points than anybody against the Broncos this year, and he leads the Jaguars to the first win in Denver. That's the first time it snapped a 12-game home winning streak for the Broncos, and fans over there may be a little bit upset about the officiating, but it was kind of nice to see the Jags get some 50-50 calls for once. I mean, I'm not sure how much you're allowed to talk about that, but Trevor Lawrence, 23 of 36, 3 touchdown passes, 279 yards, and then Parker Washington at wide receiver. And I want to ask you about him because you were teammates with him his rookie year. He goes 6 receptions, 145 yards, and a touchdown today. How about Parker Washington and his progression these past few years?
I think that's the biggest word you said right there is his progression. Parker was one, man, and I was there. He was just getting there, but he seems to continue to get better, and that's something that you just love to see, especially when that's your home team for sure, But he continues to get better, and it seems like I said again, man, the camaraderie between the quarterback to the receivers, right? It's fitting like a glove, and you see it on the field. And from a player who's, that's my favorite part. When a guy, it seems like they're not thinking, right? If they do have to alter a game plan, they adapt, and then the players do what the players must do to win big games, which is to stay down to the end, pull it out in the end. So.
Yeah, and they took control of this game. Something Liam Cohen was talking about earlier this week was just how good of a fourth quarter team that the Broncos were. They didn't have a chance in that fourth quarter. They came in down 17. The defense made some plays. I want to highlight this comment I'm seeing here. We're getting a lot of Trevor Lawrence comments in the YouTube chat. This one from Clayton Davis. What do you think of this? Trevor Lawrence, top 2 quarterback in the AFC South, and he isn't 2.
Trevor Lawrence, top 2 quarterbacks in the AFC South. And he's not number 2. I see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with it. Prove me wrong. Prove him wrong.
Exactly. He's proven all the doubters wrong right now. I mean, Chandler, the way he's playing these past few weeks is something else.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 10 touchdowns the past 2 weeks. He had five passing touchdowns last week with a rushing. What do you have this week?
4 touchdowns total.
4 touchdowns, 3 passing, and 1 rushing. I mean, he's playing great, and when he runs out, he gets out of the pocket. Those throws are amazing. The first quarter one to Parker Washington, just like he did last week. That one was pretty amazing, and that led to a touchdown for their first touchdown.
What makes Trevor Lawrence so hard to defend right now for a defense when he's playing the way he is, using both his arm and his legs?
I think it's definitely hard to plan for a guy who can make all the throws and damage you with his legs and then can take it a step further, which is to compete, and trust his teammates. So I think with all that in his repertoire, it's like, how do you stop him, right? He trusts his receivers, and he has good receivers.
How about that locker room when Trevor's going? It seems like he's a guy that they all rally behind. And you can speak to this. You were a part of that run where you get the playoff win in 2022. When Trevor Lawrence is at the top of his game, it seems like that's a group that gets fully behind him.
No, 100%. 100%. I think in this league, you need a good quarterback, but Trevor is a great quarterback, and he's been there since day one. And I think he's just in time continue to get better, So how can you not rally behind a guy like that? Have you seen the plays, right? I think that's a lot of the frustration, and I get it, which is, we know how good we could be right now, right? We shouldn't lose a game by a single point, right? And Trevor is at the helm, so how could we lose? I get it, but any given Sunday is a real thing, and Trevor and the Jaguars continue to walk out every Sunday and leave it out there every Sunday, and they've gotten good results.
I want to talk about one thing after this, because we've got Dan Hicken talking right now about the game. Let's hear Dan Hicken, his live rant. Going to be a good one after a Jags win.
Excited about this, start getting excited about this football team. All right, we're waiting for Liam Cohen at the podium, so that's what we're going to do. We'll hear his thoughts. We'll have that for you live coming up. We'll take a break right now as we are live with the postgame show. Jaguars victorious, get to win number 11 on the season, and how an impressive, a statement game for the Jaguars. You guys want the national media talking about the Jaguars? They'll be talking about the Jaguars tomorrow on all the shows. I can promise you that.
Dan Hicken brings up a great point. And, Shaq, you were a player on the Jags, and it's a team that doesn't get talked a lot about on the national stage. We had guys on Fox Sports this week literally said the line, "I don't care about the Jaguars." You got Richard Sherman being an analyst on Thursday Night Football saying he doesn't like the Jaguars. The fans are obnoxious. It's a group that gets disrespected by the national media. How much does that drive them?
I mean, it drives them a lot, but I think, when you get that type of treatment and you put in the type of work that the Jacksonville Jaguars do, and to be in Jacksonville where it's so much, like you said, it's so much lack of respect, to be frank. That type of thing, as much as I know for the players on that team that I know personally, that drives them tremendously. If you want to make the job harder for you, talk smack about the Jaguars, right? Say that they are, not up for the challenge, that they shouldn't be where they are, or there's no hope or anything like that. That's just throwing fuel on the fire for guys like that. Truly.
And we were talking before this. You said that they take those clips and they'll show them on the team bus, put them in hype videos before you go to the game, right?
Man, no matter if it's a home game, away game, coaches know how to get the guys fired up, and it's not always with the X's and O's and long lectures. Sometimes in this sport that we play, when the goal is to be dominant every play, that inch of disrespect you get from anywhere is just that inch you need to dominate for one more play.
And it seems like in the NFL, that disrespect can really drive you. And with this group right now, they're playing some great football. And on defense today, they made some plays. And one of the guys you said you train with, Emmanuel Ogbah, he swatted down a pass. He forced a fumble today. Talk about him as a player.
Man, E-Man is a savvy vet, man. I've played against him, and I've trained with him for years at a time. And to see him continue to put on, spectacle after spectacle, and no matter what role he's in, to make the most of his just his time to me is profound in itself, man. He's I believe 10-year guy, 11-year guy. You don't see that often, and to still be making plays in this magnitude in games that matter, I'm telling you, is a blessing in a league where you're not promised tomorrow. So E-Man, not just him, Foye, Aluakon, Devin Lloyd. It's a whole host of guys on that team, but especially on that defense, which is a cornerstone for a lot of the success that you see with the Jags right now. It's just not right now. A lot of these guys been taking disrespect for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So us on the outside, we're seeing the fruits of a lot of work and a lot of disrespect used, in a direction that led towards wins.
We got everyone in the chat right now. We want you guys interacting. Give your thoughts on the game. Give your questions here for Shaq Quarterman. We got you till 7:55. Someone here in the chat pointed out, and I'll get to this here in a minute, because I do want to add one more thing about Ogba.
Come on.
Pickleball partner, from what we hear. You train and you guys go to pickleball for cardio.
Yeah, so when we not, squatting, sprinting, our trainers don't have us, falling out by the wayside, man. We do pickleball, but it's competitive.
Yeah.
We can't tell the difference between the green field, with referees, and pickleball, with a whole entire different sport. But we go at it. Best 2 out of 3, man. This was the last game, but we end up playing another 3 games, so that's my guy.
Yeah. And for this team, one person pointed out here, everyone gets to 20 points and gets stuck. And it's kind of been like that with the defense this year. They played really well late in games, but they do a great job, and we saw this today. The Broncos would drive. They got yards. They got some big plays today, but the Jags would stand tall on their own side of the field. What allows them to do that on defense, you think?
The number one thing is trust. There's no way you could choose to surpass your limits, right, on a drive where another team is driving down the field, and you choose to lay it on the line again if you don't have trust. So when you see things like that happen, when you see the defense, bow their neck and get a stop like that, or turn a drive that looks like 7 points into 3 points, man, that's trust first and foremost before talent, right?
Yeah.
Trust is what allows the talent to flow smoothly, man. And they flow smoothly. You see it.
And it's funny because, Chandler, I don't feel like the Jags, maybe people will say, is the most talented unit on defense, but they play so well together as a unit.
They do play well. I think that comes from the coaching. I mean, our coaches are always fired up. I wanted to say, I think Liam Cohen might throw out his arm in this post-game speech, and I think we're ready to see that coming up here in probably about an hour to post it. But we'll hear from Liam at the end of the show. But the defense is great. I mean, a lot of guys, they believe in each other. Darian Jones had a nice pick there at the end of the game, kind of sealed the win for us. I think we got a great defense. The guys love each other, and I think it comes from the coaching.
Yeah, and that's we're gonna get a good arm pump, a good how you like that after this game. And for this team, this defense, Shaq, your linebackers that you played with, Foye and Devin, right now are anchoring that group, and Devin Lloyd is seeing a breakout season.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between him as a player right now and him his rookie year?
I would say one big thing is his ability to stay focused. He came in as a highly drafted guy, right? A lot of expectation, on a team with a staff that was, changing. A lot of things were changing, right? It's easy to get lost in the things that come with that. But I think Devin's ability to stay focused, on his weaknesses to get better is what you see him doing, man. A lot of questions that the fans may have had at certain times, right? But I can tell you myself that there is not one time that Devin Lloyd was not working to get better, to be the best linebacker that Jacksonville has ever had, right? And then when you match him, you put him on the side of a guy, a machine like...
We probably would have known it. And we'll also keep you updated if we...
Oh, keep going.
Nah, it's different. It's just different, man.
And he's about to get paid, too, at that linebacker position. He's earned it this year with his picks, with his plays. You think back to that 99-yard pick six against the Chiefs. That was huge. this defense as a unit right now is playing so well, but you look over to that offensive side of the ball, you got players like Travis Etienne making plays in the receiving game. You got Parker Washington, you got Trevor Lawrence. This unit has really started clicking, and I think this goes back really to the week where they told Trevor to just start ripping it, to trust his arm. It was Arizona, and that was the game where I think he threw 3 picks, and it wasn't a pretty game. But you've seen him as a quarterback. He looks less hesitant to throw the ball these past few weeks. Is that the biggest difference, or do you think it's something else? Because we've also seen, I feel like, he looks more calm in the pocket.
I agree with you, man. I definitely think the coaches coming to him, right, and then the way that whatever way they did it, saying, we trust you, right? Go out there and trust your judgment, right? That's what you see down the line, down this stretch. And like we talked about before, the trust in that, we trust you to lead us, right? If it's good for you, it's great for us.
Yeah.
And that's what you see happening. That's what I see happening. I see nothing extraordinary than guys trusting each other, and it finally, with the coach's help, it's finally looking like they knew it was going to look in mini camp.
Yeah.
It's just looking like it now.
And they've been a very good run defense team this year. We've got some tweets showing up right here I want to react to. I've got a mic in the way. Hold on 1 second, folks. There we go. All right, this is from a Broncos fan right here. Incredibly disheartening performance by the Broncos today. Toughest opponent you've faced all year. It's great to have people saying that about the Jaguars, by the way. And you're getting dog-walked in your own home. When you see that as a player, I mean, I'm sure you guys see this kind of stuff after a game. What does that do for you?
Man, I mean, the win is hard enough to get. It's extremely hard to win in this league. But things like this on the road make it a little.
Yeah. And then Trevor Lawrence down there for some MVP hype, maybe a sleeper. Personally, I'm going to say that might be taking it a little too far. He's playing some great football over these past 4 weeks, but could you see himself maybe working himself into an MVP conversation?
You continue to ball and everything solves. He'll be on the list if he continue to do what he's doing. I promise you that.
By the way, this week became the first Jaguars quarterback to throw 25 touchdowns in multiple seasons, and they've beat some tough teams this season. Talk about the resume of these teams they've beat. They've gotten big wins over the Chargers, the Colts, the Chiefs, and now the Broncos. They're living up to the moment this season.
Nah, they are, man. Hearing you say that, like, kind of making giving me goosebumps, man. We knew it, man. The Jacksonville Jaguars knew it, man. The fans knew it, but it's great to see it happen. It's great to see the guys go out there and do it. I think I can't say all the things that I think, but the Jags are going in the right direction.
Yeah, and we've got someone in the chat here saying they might have to go back to Denver for the AFC title game. They've gotten a good look now against Denver. And now they're just 1 game back. They're approaching the 1 seed now. They need Denver to lose. Denver and the Patriots. The Patriots got a good one tonight against the Ravens. That's going to be very interesting. And then Denver next week with the Chargers. But right now, the Jaguars, after seeing them against Denver, say they run into a team like that in the AFC Championship game. What is your confidence in this team making a playoff run right now?
At this point in the season, the guys understand that it's simply 1 game at a time. So if the Jags make it to the game, the Jags aren't going to the game just to be there. You know, they go in there to lead with a victory. So that's the confidence that I have right now. I sleep good off of that alone.
Yeah. We've talked about the coaching in this game. Campanile getting this defense together. Liam Cohen getting fired up. He drew up some great play calls today. But Liam Cohen, I want to talk about his energy and the mindset that he's gotten this team to buy into. It seems like they bought into him and his energy. This is a young coaching staff. What is it about them that you think has gotten these guys to buy in the way they have this season?
Man, I think you said it right there. It's the high energy. I think you come into a team that's ready to win with guys, like I said, who have been disrespected, and you give them the energy that they need, that they can reciprocate. That that's infectious. So I think You're just bringing it from the practice field, from Jacksonville to wherever they at, right? You got to win the home games to go to the playoffs, man. But when you can win the games on the road, when you can take your sauce and take it, on the road with you and give somebody else some home cooking, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yeah, Chandler, if you're able to go back there and look at the playoff comparisons, because we see people commenting, Mr. Pico Boulevard, do the Jags move into a 2 seed with the Patriots loss? I know they do a nice job in the tiebreaker scenarios, but we've got to work all those out. But they're competing to have some home playoff games coming up. Another tweet up on the screen right now. I've flip-flopped on Trevor Lawrence all year, but one thing has always been true. He's insanely talented, and it looks like he's playing to his full potential. Do you think Trevor Lawrence, is this the peak for him? Is this his full potential he's playing with right now?
Oh, definitely not.
Really?
Definitely not. No, this is just when it looks like when it's clicking. But, man, I think Trevor can make all the he could do all right now. But wait until he masters. He becomes even a savvy vet. And he's been here. Don't get me wrong, but no, I do not think we've seen the peak from Trevor Lawrence.
That is because he's playing some great football right now, and it's his first year in this offensive system. And they got the wristband back on, and we've noticed a little bit better play from him since that point. But you can see him start to become more comfortable in this offense, and it's kind of scary to think that he could get even better from this point. And I'm interested. You say this isn't his peak right now. What do you think the ceiling is for Trevor Lawrence in this offense?
Can't call it. You can't call it. All you can do is gather the right pieces like they have done. A great head coach, a great defensive coordinator, great players, right? And then bring those factors under one goal. And they're making it happen, right? They're ironing out the kinks, man. It's been a long season, and here we are, right? Winning games handsomely deep into December.
Against some great teams as well.
Come on.
We'll hear from Liam Cohen throughout this show after this game, getting his thoughts. I'm really interested to see what his takeaways are from this game. I want to bring up a couple fan questions we had submitted from my Instagram story, and everyone in the YouTube chat, if you have some questions for Shaq, let it on us. We want to hear from the fans here in this show. This one comes from Jacob Everhart on Instagram. What is the favorite play that you've ever made, college or NFL?
College or NFL. My favorite play, pound for pound, would have to be the Derrick Henry hit, Tennessee on the road, which put us on the route to make the playoff stage.
Yeah.
Slip 2 times on the play, get up, run 30 yards, just to have an opportunity to make a play. And you make a play, right? You get up off the ground, and we got the ball, and the momentum is swung, and that was your third play in the game. So that's definitely my favorite play right there.
That was a great play. I remember I was at Gators Dockside watching that game, and the entire bar just goes crazy with that hit.
Yeah.
Because that's Shaq. That was Shaq.
Yeah.
And like you said, that was a huge play for that team and that season. And we saw this team is hitting hard right now. And they've got players that are out there. They're being aggressive. They're going after the football. And they seem to be playing with a lot of confidence right now. You stay in touch with some of these guys right now on the team. Is that the feeling you're getting from them?
Most definitely. The bigger parts of this defense are the guys that have been there, right? And I know, and trust and believe that they echo the same message, right? They're just adding parts to get better, right? Foye Oluokun is not there, unless he's getting better, right? Devin Lloyd is not there unless he's getting better. Josh is not there unless he's getting better. So when you got your best players with one goal holding each other accountable, this is what you see, man. Foye holds you accountable. Devin holds you accountable, right? Josh holds you accountable, right? And then you got savvy veteran players, E-Man, DeJuan Smoot, right? Man, they coming together, man. It's coming together.
How do they go about that, keeping you in check? What are some things that those guys maybe even did for you during your career?
And I think especially I could speak for the linebacker group, the unit that I had the years that I was there, or with Devin and Foye. is to have one thing understood. You know, we're not here to do anything but get better and win, right? So under that, guys, how can you take anything personal, right? Under that, guys, if you find yourself taking something personal, you should be able to understand that, no, this is just for the goal, right? If you take it personal, then you haven't sat down your ego yet, man.
Yeah.
Because this is a 11-on-11 sport, every play. So it's not one man that can do it themselves. So under that, guys, and then to challenge each other. Instead of taking it personal, man, we would challenge each other who could do it the best, right? Who's going to watch the most film? And it ain't just sitting there with the clicker looking like you watching film. Who knows it, you know? Who can answer the question the fastest? I remember that, man. They putting film on the clicker. Man, we racing to close the call or to say the coverage or to say, you know. So stuff like that make it easy to go to the job.
Yeah. They seem like really great leaders for that team. Another question here from the chat. This is an autograph request for you. He's got U.S. Army high school cards. How could you get those to sign? How could he get those signed?
Oh, yeah, we definitely got to get that signed. I know exactly what card he's talking about. Oh, we got to figure that out. We may have to send that here. All right, we might have to send that here. I'll sign that, and we'll send it right back for sure.
So you know what he's talking about, some U.S. Army high school cards.
I know exactly. I have a deck of them cards, man. yeah, please.
I remember I talked with you. You said you got Fred Taylor's autograph at Home Depot. Am I right?
Yeah, man. I got that autograph. I think I wasn't even in 8th grade yet. Met Fred Taylor, man. He don't remember. But I got the chance to meet Fred Taylor in the time where Fred was doing his thing, the Jacks were doing their thing. But yeah, man, it's been a crazy journey, right, to be a Jaguar and to be from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know about an address, but maybe send you an DM on Instagram. That'll be a way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get that figured out here for Mr. Pico Boulevard. Last thing before we hit a commercial break, we'll have Brent Martineau joining us in a bit. For you watching the Jags right now, what are your main takeaways from what you're seeing from this team?
Main takeaways to make it easy is Trevor's looking more comfortable. Against all odds, this offensive line is resilient, right? And the defense bends but does not break.
Yeah.
So that equals good football late in December. Pretty healthy, and the more healthy we can get, the better our chances are. So I think that's where we are.
I love what you said. Every week we'd see it when you were with the Jaguars. 904 and specifically the West Side going to show up when the Jaguars are winning.
The best side, man. The West Side going to show up for sure.
That crowd is going to be electric. And when you have, I want to address the fans specifically right now because we're seeing that crowd, you know, more people in the stands every single week. When you have those fans there supporting you guys, what does that do for the team?
Man, it means everything, man. You know, I could say it from just being a local, man. But when you hear that Jacksonville, you know, that Jacksonville, it means something special to us, right? Not just to me, but it means something special when instead of 11 on 11, you know, it's somewhere close to 100,000 or however many fans we have, you know, against the 11 that the other team may show up with. So that's always been my thing, always.
The Jacksonville Jaguars on a roll. They get the win over the Denver Broncos. We've got Brent Martineau. We've got Jason Hamby. We've got Mia O'Brien coming up here on the 24/7 postgame show. Shaq Quarterman, thank you for stopping by.
Appreciate you for having me. Yes, sir.
We'll have more postgame coverage up until 9 o'clock, and then Club 904 coming up after that. We've got postgame coverage on the network until 10 o'clock after this Jaguars victory. More coming up after this break on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bonos app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bonos Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bonos Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jax 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing is taking their 75-plus years of expertise and expanding to CGC Home Services. Water treatment and plumbing is still a big part of what they do, and now they can do even more for you. Home services like kitchen and bathroom remodeling, showers, sinks, faucets, toilet repair, backflow testing, and the list keeps going. Find all they can do at cgchomeservices.com or give them a call, 904-298-7052. It's a new look and a new name with the same expertise. They've been serving homes like yours since 1946. CGC Home Services, right here in Jacksonville off St. John's Bluff Road, 904-298-7052. And visit cgchomeservices.com. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to easily access Action News Jax now using your Roku device. First, launch Roku. Next, use the menu list to scroll down to the search feature. Then, use the remote to enter Action News Jax into the search bar, and then click Action News Jax thumbnail. Once you see this screen, go ahead and select Add App. Wait a few seconds for it to install. Once it finishes installing, press the star button on your remote and click on Move App or Move App to the top. Finally, select the app back on your home screen to open it. Now you can watch all the great content on Action News Jax now. Live daily breaking news.
We have breaking news happening right now in Clay County.
First alert weather and traffic.
Looks like we have a tornado warning. Let's take a look at that.
Action Sports Jax 24/7.
We've got the Brenton Austin Show daily, live sporting events, and long-form interviews you can't see anywhere else.
And shows like Law and Crime and much more. And that's how you access Action News Jax now using your Roku device.
Grab some friends and go to a restaurant or head out for a drink and some conversation. Watch your favorite team play on the big screen. Or how about play some games? You can do all of that in one night at Best Bet.
Each location has a different vibe, its own personality, like here at the original Best Bet in Orange Park. When you walk through these doors, everybody knows your name. And here in St. Augustine, it's the newest location. Play some poker. How about the table games? And don't forget about Ace's Sports Bar and Grill. And then there's the Jacksonville location right here on Monument Road. It's the biggest poker room in the state of Florida. Maybe you'll find yourself a seat right here at the final table.
Best Bet, where you can have the best of times. And that makes you always go home a winner. Try any of the 3 locations, and you can always visit bestbetjax.com.
Welcome back to the 24/7 postgame show. Just had Shaq Quarterman on with us. The Jaguars come away with a 34-20 win over the Denver Broncos. A dominant performance from the Jaguars. They lead 17-10 going into the half. They go up 17 going into the fourth quarter, and they close out a huge win against the best team in the AFC record-wise, at the time. Now I think they are tied with the New England Patriots and the Jaguars, chasing a 1 seed now in the playoff race. Trevor Lawrence playing great football against one of the best defenses in the NFL. 4 total touchdowns. He's now got 10 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. We've got Chandler Dantzler. Brent Martineau will be coming up. We've got clips from Liam Cohen's press conference. And we're now joined by Jason Hamby.
Here we go.
In the studio. Hamby,
here we go.
How about them Jaguars?
Yeah, man, what a freaking day. I mean, insane. And we just got the clap back from Liam Cohen on Sean Payton, saying, we're just a small market team. Glad we could go win out there on the West Coast, which fires me up even more. This regime misses nothing, man. It's insane. They literally miss nothing. And I just want to talk about the offense, man.
Yeah.
The offense, the fact that you take away you take away Etienne's biggest run, which was 24 yards. He had 14 carries for like 38 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just a terrible average. The Jags could not run the ball.
They averaged 3 yards per carry, 81 total rushing yards.
And that was with that one run to the outside. The Jags couldn't run the ball up the middle for anything.
Yeah.
And they still put up 34 on the best defense in the National Football League
all year.
Look, I don't like. I put out after the third quarter when it was already 34, or maybe it was 31. I didn't care what happened the rest of that game. That defense, Denver's defense, cannot hold a candle to the Texans defense. I don't want to hear that anymore. The Broncos defense being the top defense in the country, no, it's not. And I know that the Jaguars are hot. They're hitting on all cylinders. Everything's working. That's not the top defense. So as much as I want to give credit to the Jaguars offense, all the credit in the world. All the credit to Trevor Lawrence in the world. And as somebody who defended him for months on this show, along with so many other people, like it fires me up even more. Not more than just us winning. I'd rather be wrong and win 100 times out of 100. This makes it even sweeter. So I want to give all the credit in the world to the Jags offense. That being said, that defense didn't come to play. 21, Riley Moss, we're going to send you a Christmas card, buddy. We're going to send you a Christmas. 2 times in a row, both once to Parker Washington on the outside. Riley Moss is overrunning it, and we're going to break the tackle and get 60, and then we're going to get 25 more on a third down. So you think the Texans are going to do that? Lasted or Stingley? No. No shot. So, all the credit to the Jags offense, but also thank you, Denver. That ain't a top defense.
This AFC South race is something else.
Oh, yeah, man.
The Texans just squeaked past the Raiders today. It's 23-21.
How sweet that would have been.
The Colts tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. But it's great right now. The Jaguars control their own destiny. They've got the Colts next week. Then they have the Titans at home to try to close out an AFC South championship. They're going out there. They're winning football games. They're showing up against the best teams in the league.
Absolutely.
It seems like right now it is their division to lose, and it's one they should wrap up these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they? If you can go on the road and beat Denver in a hostile environment, and look,
the cameras were shaking.
Dude, I don't remember the last time that the Jags played the Broncos in Denver off the top of my head. So, I mean, you know that Denver's a tough environment. Everybody says that. And, I mean, we've seen it before. I've watched plenty of games in Denver over the last couple of years, but not the Jags. So you're not dialed in to that same level. That was real.
Yeah.
That was real. And for the Jags to have an answer, I mean, there's even time. I know everybody freaks out about, and I'm going to get to the division in just a second, but everybody freaks out about when the ball snapped with 1 second left, and Trevor's frantically clapping and all that stuff. And Liam Cohen got asked about it again this week. And kind of that was the one that we played at the Brenton Austin show. Watch it every day, 10 to 1, every weekday.
Nice plug.
Yeah, we played that clip because it's like Liam Cohen laughed that off. He's like, y'all are obsessed with the 1 second kind of, because everybody freaks out, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's asking about it, and he's like, dude, that's the NFL. Like
it is.
That's just what happens. You snap the ball with 1 second left. It happens all the time. So there was one, and then the one in particular that I'm talking about is the balls get snapped at 1, it's frantic, all that stuff, and Parker Washington is just out wide open for an easy conversion because the Broncos defense busts. Again, that ain't happening. Houston ain't doing that. Not in a crucial situation like that, but Denver did. And it was just the way that the Jags handled that, the crowd, the environment. I mean, everybody knew going in that was a playoff atmosphere, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, that was a huge playoff atmosphere and one of the loudest environments in the NFL, and the Jaguars just had an answer. And as much as, yes, Trevor deserves all of the credit in the world, the receivers deserve all the credit in the world, the O-line deserves all the credit in the world, because, yes, there were sacks. They weren't very meaningful sacks, and a lot of them were Trevor's able to get up to the line of scrimmage, not big losses, and they weren't in big situations. So everybody on the offense deserves a lot of credit. But the fact that they had answers for the Broncos defense in that environment, that's Liam Cohen.
Yeah.
That's Liam Cohen having answers. That's drawing up the right winners at the right time, scheming the right guys open. And so when you have everybody working in sync, Liam Cohen, he had to have felt like every single thing he was going to call, every pass play was going to work. And when you feel like that and you're in that kind of rhythm as a play caller on the road against the top team in the AFC, to me that says, okay, this team can beat anybody if they play like this.
This was really interesting. So I mentioned we just had Shaq Quarterman on the show. Mm-hmm. Former Jaguars linebacker. He was in the NFL last year.
Right.
He said right now Trevor Lawrence is not at his peak. He says there's still room for him to go. And that's scary to think about.
Yeah.
He's got 10 total touchdowns over the last 2 games. Mm-hmm. He just put up 34 on that Denver Broncos defense. And to think he might not be at his peak right now.
Yeah, man. That's insane. And yeah, there was still a couple of throws there, but I mean, the addition of Trevor's legs in all of these games is insane. I mean, you had the Superman on third down to get that final yard. And the amount of dog that Trevor is showing right now is just, you can't even really put it into words. But again, the addition of the run, and when they run, option on 3rd and 2, and it's the easiest 7 yards of all time, and then they are down at the goal line, and they have BTJ in the backfield, and he goes out and swings out, and Trevor just keeps it, and they run off tackle, and he literally walks into the end zone. Like, those are, again, wrinkles that the Jaguars have that we're not used to seeing. And those parts of Trevor's game are, I'm sure as Shaq was talking about, only getting better. And you forget again that this receiving core, as good as they're playing right now, Parker's playing unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Right? Parker's playing unbelievable. Jacoby's playing unbelievable. BTJ was locked down for the most part. And Cohen, again, in his post-game press conference says, we knew, Surtain was going to pretty much take BTJ away. And maybe Jacoby. It was not, so we knew going in that Parker was probably going to go off today, and that's exactly what happened. So, again, Cohen was one step ahead. The entire Jaguars offensive scheme was one step ahead. Parker played phenomenally. But, again, your most explosive receiver is still BTJ. So, what happens, to your point, what happens when BTJ has a better game? But more importantly, what happens when you can actually run the football?
Yeah.
That that goes back to ETN. They didn't run the ball well at all. And you still scored 34 points. So when the play action is better and more effective, when you can run the football, Trevor's only going to get better, to Shaq and to your point.
Yeah, and we've got people in the chat. I want people in the chat to give me their thoughts on what they think Trevor Lawrence's ceiling is. Mm-hmm. They're saying that next year they're excited to see what he does after a full year with Cohen, with Hunter back too.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, though, right now, you mentioned with the sacks, he took 5 sacks today. Mm-hmm. It was for a total of 14 yards.
Yeah, that's
he didn't lose yardage on
no problem.
Them. But the biggest thing with Trevor right now and this Jaguars team is they keep finding ways to find success.
Yeah.
I don't think it's wrong to say they got beat at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football in this game.
Yeah.
The Broncos ran the ball with ease in this game.
Yes.
On offense, Trevor was under pressure. They were not able to run the football, and yet the Jaguars still found a way to control this ball game.
Right.
That's a pretty incredible thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I do. There was a points in the game, especially at half. It was like, golly. I mean, the Jags were losing the line of scrimmage. It's like, how can you? I think midway through the second quarter, what was it? 14-10.
Yeah.
you're like, man, I mean, the Jags really got to step it up here. Or, it had the feel of a game where, maybe the Jags are just going to lose by one score, and that was going to be it. And because, you can only do so well when you're not running the football. At least that's what I thought, and that's what I think is customary, is you can only, survive and excel offensively despite your inefficient run game for a quarter or two, especially against a defense of that caliber. The fact again, and I'm going to hammer it home, and I'm going to just go ahead and hammer it home all week. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now, that come tomorrow at 10:30 when we're talking Jags, this is my same point. The fact that you still put up 34 points with zero run game, zero. Like, that is what an MVP does. That's what an MVP does. And again, not going to claim, like, he's played this way for
4 weeks.
Right. And, well, I would say 6, but the stats itself would say 4, and we know to win an MVP you have to have stats. He's nowhere near that conversation right now. That's all good. But these last 2 weeks, that is what an MVP does. That is what an MVP looks like. And Trevor Lawrence, if he plays like that, if Trevor Lawrence plays like that, and again, the run game improves, and it gets back to what it was at the beginning of the season, especially between the tackles, because the Jags have been running it well outside of the tackles, pitch plays and stuff like that, and the screen game's working a little bit more than it has finally. Between the tackles, they've been terrible the last 3 weeks. If that gets back to what it was at the beginning of the year, and Trevor plays like he has, nobody's beating this Jags team. Nobody.
They're playing very good football right now, and they're playing not just as AFC South contenders,
right?
Not just as a playoff, team that can go in there and get a couple wins in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
These past few weeks, they're playing like Super Bowl contenders.
Absolutely.
They're playing like one of the best teams in the AFC, and people have been doubting them. They're saying, well, these past few weeks, they've dominated, but it's been against so-so teams, though I'd like to argue the Colts are not a so-so team.
Right.
They went out and they sent a message today. And one thing I want to touch on, Liam Cohen talks a lot about complementary football in all 3 phases of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Every coach talks about that. And today, you look back in the first quarter, when the Broncos miss a field goal, the Jags go and score a touchdown. When the Broncos punt in the second quarter, it leads to a Jaguars field goal. After the Broncos score a field goal in the second quarter, they respond with a touchdown. After they punt in the third quarter, Jaguars touchdown. They responded when the Broncos faltered, and that's where they were able to turn this game into a win, and a dominant win at that. It seems like this team, they know how to respond, and they build off of momentum.
100%. And before I get to that, quick in the chat, Tubbs, Griffin, Bill Lawrence willed us to victory today. Absolutely. Love that he's in here right now. Mr. Hugo, he's a daily listener, so shout out to him. He said he listened to the Miami A&M game on the radio, and the announcer described it as a rock fight. All right, real quick, Chandler, Noah, what's a rock fight? Y'all have heard this term plenty of times, yes?
No.
What? Okay, so barn burner.
Yeah.
High scoring affair.
Yeah.
Rock fight? That's going to be a 3-0, 10-3, 10-7 game.
Good to know.
I thought this was I thought everybody was with me on this. I mean, I think Mr. Hugo's proven my point that this is a well-used term. He heard it. Somebody added me on Twitter the other day and said they'd had it. This was a huge discussion, by the way, this week for us. If you can tell.
What makes that show great, by the way,
is.
when you tune in and get those.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, look, the Jags, you go back to the first quarter, right? And then, they go 3 and out, and they go 3 and out, and you're like, oh, boy. I mean, hey, at that point, you're like, all right, this Denver defense, I mean, it's blankets across the field. Nobody's open, and their rush is getting home, and they hadn't run the football. You're like, hey, we might be in for a long day. And in those moments, right, again, on the road is really where you see this is not the same old Jags. They make adjustments. Boom, right there. First 2 drives, they shorten up the routes a little bit in that third drive. Then they get going, and then it ends off with just, hey, a player made a play where Parker Washington is not open. He is not open on that slot fade. And Trevor throws a great ball, and Parker Washington makes a play. And you couldn't have said that about Jags teams in the past. Whereas, like, if they're not, I mean, if plays are there to be made in tight, contested moments,
they're not going to make that play.
They're not going to make the play. I mean,
Even at the start of the season, it was like that.
Even at the start of the season, yeah. I mean, it's like this team has learned how to win. They've learned how to be at their best when their best is required. And, yeah, they've responded. So, yeah, I mean, the Broncos showed that initially, too. I mean, they literally came back. The Broncos threw their own slot fade and punched right back. 7-7 game. What do the Jags do? They go right down the field again. So, again, if you can win games like that, and I think the Jags have proven, so they've been able to, like, what guys on the schedule, when you looked at it before the year, now that you look back at it in hindsight, what questions have they left unanswered? Because you look at the Patriots, right? And they're playing the game's in Baltimore tonight, right? I believe so. Chandler, please double check me on that. So you look at a team like the Patriots, and us Jags fans for the last week when we've been thinking about the playoff scenarios, we've said, well, look, there's still questions left unanswered for the Patriots. They've beaten all of these teams, but where's the challenge been, right? Have they gotten that win? The good team on the road. Do we have Brent or something now?
Yeah, we do have Brent coming in. Chandler, we got him?
All right, so real quick, let me make this point. So the Patriots, they have unanswered questions. You looked at the Broncos, they maybe had unanswered questions. What unanswered questions do the Jaguars have right now? They've faced every team. They freaking swept the AFC West. I mean, what are we talking about here? And they did it on the road. No, they obviously didn't beat the Seahawks and they didn't beat the Rams. But every single team that they faced recently, it's unanswered question after unanswered question. They took care of the Colts. Then they go out west and beat the Broncos. As again, right now, the Broncos have unanswered questions. Every team in the AFC but the Jags right now has an unanswered question. And to be able to say that at this point in the season, I think is crazy.
Brent Martineau, we got you here. What's the feeling out there in Denver after this Jaguars win?
Let's go, baby.
Well, I think everybody back home, and I think maybe all of you and us and everybody else is more excited than the Jags team. I mean, I think they're really excited, but I also think they're very exhausted. I talked to a lot of players. This was a playoff game. You're in December, right? You're beat up, and there are some sore players. Trevor Lawrence probably at the top of the list, but Travis Etienne. This was a bruiser, guys, and they were able to handle that. I'm going to keep looking over here so I don't miss the bus because I don't want to stay in Denver, okay, for the holidays. Not a bad place, but I don't want to stay there. So, yeah, I mean, what a gritty, gutty kind of performance for the Jags here, and the way it was played, right? I mean, it was amazing. If you looked up, it was 14-10 with about 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, and I didn't feel like the Jags had done anything on offense. Yet they made two big plays to Parker Washington, and they were able to get the score with a nice little drive down to Brenton Strange. And I was like, damn. I mean, they feel like they're getting beat up. They don't feel like they should be up 14-10, but they're up 14-10. And I think that's a little bit of the way this football team is right now. And then they hit a groove. I mean, they scored on 6 of 7 possessions against maybe the top 2 defense in the National Football League. They scored on 4 of 5 red zone. I said all week, guys, red zone, third down conversions. Jags were 8 of 14 on third downs, 4 of 5 touchdowns in the red zone. Absolutely terrific in those 2 areas.
It's wild because you think back to where we were at the start of the season and now. When the Jaguars get in the red zone, you're expecting a touchdown. And for a lot of years recently, they get in the red zone and you almost expected them to falter. This is a team that's playing with a lot of confidence right now. And Brent, when you're in there in the locker room, Liam Cohen and his presser, what were their main takeaways, you think, from this game?
Well, I think they belong. I think that's the main thing. We try to ask them like, wow, what a win, right? Like having Denver. Denver hasn't lost in 14 months here and perfect at home. And they're one of the best teams in the league and they won 11 in a row. And it's like, I feel like internally they're saying, yeah, we're pretty good. I just ask these guys a lot. I say, this is impressive that you're handling this stage because I think this is a big stage. I think it's a different stage to be able to bring it and have your best or close to the best or good enough. And I think that says a lot about a football team that really hasn't been here a lot. The organization hasn't. These guys in particular as a coaching staff, a regime, and the team hasn't been here a lot, and yet they're able to deliver. So I think that's the biggest takeaway for me is they belong, and I think now the rest of the league knows they belong, right? To be able to pull this out and this kind of performance on the road against Denver. We think the Jags can beat anybody, but I think today they proved it.
Yeah, Brent, I remember earlier in the season, the Jags got a win. I don't remember which one it was.
I'm going this way, by the way. Just in case I missed the bus. I'm going backwards.
Brent, you'll remember better than me. The Jags got a win about 2 months ago, and Foye after the game said that the defense was pissed that they were pretty disappointed with their effort and because they lost the line of scrimmage. Did you get any sense of that in the locker room today, that they maybe lost the line of scrimmage, that the defense felt that they could have played better, or was it all kind of that celebratory, we're just moving on here?
We got James Gladstone. James, what do you think?
Oh, you got to love it. Congrats. We still got a couple minutes, or we about to go?
No, we got a couple minutes.
Okay, good.
What's up? Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
Your thing.
All right, sorry, guys. I kind of heard some of that.
Yeah, it's great. We got James Gladstone on the 24/7 postgame show.
Yeah. I don't want to put him on the spot too much, but happy people with the regime.
He's fired up.
Yeah, it should be. But, yeah, I got what you're saying about the trenches. I don't know if they won the trenches. I don't think they lost it enough. I thought the offensive line got in a bit of a groove where they held, Denver at bay. I know you're going to look up 5 sacks, but it really wasn't like, good man, congrats. It wasn't like, oh, my gosh, under pressure the whole time, right? And then Trevor just was terrific. And you put the ball in his hands. People have been asking, put the ball in his hands, see what happens. Well, look what happens. Last couple of weeks, they knew they couldn't run the ball today early. So they were going to throw against a really good pass rush, and Patrick Surtain, the best in the league, and they find Parker Washington. So, it's just so much to like. And I think above all, what Liam's doing, really Trevor, I think he really toughed one out today. I think there was chaos everywhere. I think he gutted it out. I think he showed his toughness by taking some shots. Banged up, he will be extremely sore tomorrow, and then just delivering. I mean, he made another unbelievable throw rolling to his left, too. And then he got the guy who had the hot hand involved. He would have goal the football. So, man, oh, man. I mean, this team's freaking good. Like, it's kind of hard to absorb it all with everything going on, but I just don't believe it. They just really kind of whooped Denver from the
they did.
10-minute mark of the second quarter to the end of the game. So damn impressive.
Last thing I got for you, Brent, because I know you got to get there on the bus, but we talked with Shaq Quarterman, and this has been a topic throughout the show. He said that Trevor has not reached his peak yet. What do you think we're seeing here from Trevor? Where do you think that is in terms of where he can be as a quarterback, and what do you think Trevor's peak is and his ceiling?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, listen, we'd all be fine if this is the peak, wouldn't we? I mean, the way he's played the last month. I mean, I think here's the deal. I don't think he got enough credit in the early part of the season for doing some of the good things he was doing. Some of the bad things maybe were exacerbated. Understood. It wasn't as pretty, not box score 300 yards, although 4 touchdowns. But I think some of this was still there. Some of it, not all of it. Now it's getting to be all of it right there. And I think that's the biggest difference for Trevor. But does he have more? I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're not going to throw and play perfect football each week. The big guys don't either. I just feel like he's answering the bell in the biggest of games. Take this game, take the Colts game, and take the Monday Night Football game against the Chiefs. And he's played pretty damn good football. On those 3 games this year, and those were 3 of the biggest football games of the season.
Well, Brent, thanks for joining us. Seems like a great feel out there in Denver. Jaguars come away with another big win.
All right, guys, good work. We're taking the bus to the airport. We'll see you tomorrow on the Brent Austin Show.
Not a baby.
What an appearance there. James Gladstone, we got Tim Patrick there in the background.
Yeah, man.
Everyone fired up right now. The Jaguars are finding different ways to win. And what I'm thinking right now is where Trevor Lawrence compares to other quarterbacks in the league. Is he arriving right now in his 5th year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you're seeing. I think it's going to be gradual. I think we've talked so much about, when we look back at the beginning of this year, like when Liam Cohen was first hired, we all said, and I think it was pretty much unanimous in the fan base, hey, it might take Trevor a little bit. When has a head coach, who, by the way, is a first-time head coach, not just in the NFL, ever, hadn't coached high school football as a head coach, college, NFL, CFL, you name it, FL, had never been a head coach. So when does a guy come in as a first-time head coach ever with a quarterback who's not necessarily a veteran and has not played his best football and immediately clicked? Has that ever happened? No. So come week 7, come week 8, week 9, and Trevor is still not looking very good. Half the people are fully jumped off of the ship, and I get it, not trying to hammer them. But look, when Liam Cohen was hired, we said, hey, it might take 3-4 months. Some of us who were more conservative said, hey, it might take a year or two, right? I mean, it might take a year or two. God forbid that a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator who has never been an offensive coordinator, and a guy and a quarterback who's already on his third regime in 5 years in the NFL take a little bit of time to mesh, to get things going. And yeah, you're going to see you want to explain the Trevor roller coaster that was, weeks 5 through 10? That's it, man. So the fact that it's happening now, you should not be surprised that Trevor's cooking finally. You should not be surprised that this offense is playing like this. If we all knew that it's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little time. Well, now it's arrived. And so you asked me if he's arrived. I think, yeah, he's arrived. But I still think he can play better. I mean, the wristband, right? You get the wristband about a month ago, and the offense seems different, and that kind of coincides with the trade for Jacoby Myers. And obviously, the entire offense is different. So it's not just the fact that Cohen and Trevor are finally meshing and all of this stuff and the growing pains of that new relationship. It's Jacoby as well. But, I mean, it doesn't get much better than this, but yet it can still improve.
We're talking about Liam Cohen right now. And just how impressive this first season has been. His first season as an NFL head coach. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of talk around the NFL. Who's coach of the year?
Yeah.
Mike McDonald, Mike Vrabel. A whole bunch of guys around the NFL having great seasons right now. Mm-hmm. But is Liam Cohen right now, people have been mentioning Sean Payton. Is he separating himself as the coach of the year in the NFL?
Yeah, if I want to, as a Jags fan, obviously I want to say yes. But if I'm going to think about from an NFL perspective, there's no freaking way that they would give it to Cohen over Ben Johnson right now.
That's true.
I mean, with what Chicago was doing and the fact that they won in overtime, down 10 points, 16-6 with 2.5 minutes to go the other night, they're going to give it to a guy like Ben Johnson. And credit to McDonald up there in Seattle. He didn't give enough credit either. They're freaking awesome. And Rams Seahawks on Thursday was the best game of the year for my money. And then, Vrabel, you could even give it to Dan Campbell. I mean, look, I know that the Lions lost again tonight. And I would be shocked if they did give it to Campbell. But the fact that if they make the playoffs, if they win their next 2 games, make the playoffs, would you be surprised if they go with the narrative, Campbell's he took over the play calling and he willed his team into the playoffs? I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
So, I would hope that Cohen would have an edge over a guy like Campbell. But I don't know, man. I still feel there's probably 2 or 3 guys ahead of Cohen. And we'll just try to win more games than all those guys. So, what do you think? You think Cohen's...
I think he definitely deserves conversation.
Agree,
I think I agree with you. I think Ben Johnson's the leading candidate right now. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking in terms of... That leads into my next topic that I want to talk about. Where does Liam Cohen rank among head coaches right now? And Chandler, I want you to get in on this too. Ben Johnson and Liam Cohen came in this hiring cycle. They take over 2 abysmal franchises that just frankly do not know how to win. Mm-hmm. They can't find ways to win. And in their first seasons, they're both up over 10 wins and near the top of their respective conferences. If you're looking at the next wave of NFL coaches right now, does Liam Cohen fit as maybe the next great head coach in the NFL, one of the top guys? Or is it maybe just that first season little bump a team gets from having a head coach? Because we have seen that where guy comes in with new energy, and then that first season goes really well, then a little downhill after that. Do you think Liam Cohen is going to end up being a top 5 type of coach in the NFL and sustaining his success here?
I think Liam Cohen should be one of the top coaches in the NFL right now. First year head coach ever. I don't even know if he coached high school ball. He was at the Bucs last season, kind of turned them around, turned Baker Mayfield around. Just look at what he's done. In this season, we're 11-4. In my lifetime, I don't think Jags have ever been 11-4, so this is awesome. So I think he's one of the best coaches right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, again, why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be a top 5 guy in the NFL? I do want to mention if you can, Chandler, real quick, pull up that chat real quick. because there was a question I wanted to. It was two. I think it was either YB or Mr. Pico asked who came in for McCary at right guard. That was Walker Little came in at right guard, which, I mean, as soon as McCary goes down and it looks pretty bad, you're like, okay, well, the Jags have two options here. They can put Van Lanen at right guard and then put Walker Little into the game, insert him into the game at left tackle where he's played obviously all year long before the concussion. Or are you going to put Milam in, the rookie, at right guard so that you can keep Van Lanen at left tackle? Well, the Jags chose option 3, which I don't think any of us thought. They just said, Walker Little, hey, well, you haven't taken a snap at right guard maybe all year, and we don't know what they do behind the scenes, but we can only get, I mean, why would he? If he's your starting left tackle, he's not going to be taking a lot of snaps at right guard. And so he goes out with a concussion. Obviously, they officially kind of benched him today because now that he's fully healthy and Van Lanen still started at left tackle, that effectively means Little got benched, like he got his job taken.
He does have experience, though, at that guard position.
Of course, and he was the original Van Lanen. Like, Van Lanen is getting so much praise right now because he's played 4 different spots on the offensive line. Well, 2-3 years ago, that was Walker Little. That's why he got a new contract. But he just hasn't been very good at left tackle. The fact that he was able to step in at right guard and at least do the job. Now, I think this is one where we're going to have to go back this week and really look play by play. How well did Walker Little play? Because you had the big play down the right sideline. I believe there was one to ETN where Little really sealed a block. At the same time, once he came in, the Jags offense stalled. So you can go with two narratives. You can go, well, Walker Little, you didn't play that well. Or what happens when you're trying to maintain a 14-point lead? You're going to play it really conservatively anyway. The Jags couldn't run the football. That's not on his fault. They couldn't do that before he got in there. So, trying to get ahead of that, that's going to be a huge topic of conversation, especially if McCary misses time with that back injury. I have no idea how serious it is or not. But would you want Little to stay at right guard? Who knows? Would you want Milam in there? That will definitely be something to keep an eye on going into Indianapolis.
And it was mentioned in the chat, the Jaguars need the Chargers or the Chiefs to beat the Broncos, and they need the Patriots to lose one of their next few games. They've got, I believe, the Jets, the Dolphins, and tonight they play the Ravens. So I think it's safe to say we are Ravens fans tonight. Yeah. We are big Ravens fans. They have an early 7-0 lead, by the way, right now on Sunday Night Football. The Jaguars are looking at a chance to be the number 1 seed in the AFC and get a home game. And when you look at these next 2 games, you look at the Colts, you look at the Titans. Mm-hmm. The Colts are not trending in a good direction right now. The Titans have won a couple games, and they've stayed competitive with some good teams. They just beat the Chiefs. Are you more concerned about the Colts or the Titans?
It's a good question. I mean, you wouldn't have guessed probably a month ago that would ever be even on the table. But yeah, Cam Ward is playing better football. He looks like he's there's at least somewhat of a future with him if they can actually get some pieces around him. Their offensive line is no good. They've been able to run the football a little bit with Pollard. I think he's got 3 straight weeks with over 100 yards. Does that concern you if you're the Jags being with their run defense? I don't think so. Let me watch tomorrow night's football game first. With Phillip Rivers playing, you would think now, and I'm going to dance like oh my gosh, I'm going to dance around this so bad because the last thing I want to do is put anything out there. And then with the last couple of years, with the Titans ending the Jags season when they had no reason beating the Jags, maybe just for that reason only, I would pick the Colts. Like, I would rather face the Colts. The Colts have a much better just roster team outside of the quarterback position, but we all remember what happened Week 18 a couple years ago with the Titans.
Yeah.
And, of course, they don't have Derrick Henry anymore, but dude, I can't go through that.
Not
again.
to mention, they don't like this Jaguars team very much after that first game.
Of course not.
It's a team that's going to want to come out and send a message last week. I might be more concerned about them with the way those teams are trending right now.
Yeah.
To be completely honest.
They might be.
We have a clip from Liam Cohen in his post-game press conference. Let's take a look at what the Jags head coach had to say.
Yeah, great team effort. Just thankful that, a small market team like us can come into a place like Mile High and get it done.
Was that a nice rallying cry?
Yeah, when you yes. Yeah.
About Trevor Lawrence handling the atmosphere of that defense, how frustrated you today?
Very impressed. Very impressed with the way these guys have continued to compete. Trevor, the offensive line, had to shuffle a few things. I thought they protected really well. Did some really good things in the pass game. Parker Washington stepped up in a huge way. All those guys, I think he threw it to about 7 different receivers in the game, whatever it was, and guys just keep battling and making plays.
What went into the third down success in particular?
I think we had a good plan. I think Spencer Whipple, Grant Udinsky, those guys did a great job with the plan. Trevor Mendelson does our third down runs, and we actually ended up throwing one of the runs that ended up occurring. It was a quarterback draw that we ended up throwing that hit Parker on an outcut that he went down the sidelines. But I think our staff did a great job. The players, under obviously a loud atmosphere on the road, did a great job of executing the third down plan. Really, you look at third down and red zone is kind of where we ended up winning the game.
Liam Cohen starting that off with a shot at Sean Payton. He was thinking about that all the way up to the podium throughout the day. I know coaches, I'm not sure if he does this at the NFL level. Mm-hmm. I know a coach who will literally take his bulletin board material and he'll make it his iPhone screen cover. Liam Cohen came up and he opens it up with,
small market team like us can get it done in Mile High.
Liam Cohen, he's not afraid of anybody, and I think that we can see that bleed down to the rest of the team. It shows. When your head coach isn't afraid, your team is not afraid of anybody. And this team is showing it right now.
Yeah, so first off, shouts to whoever showed Liam Cohen that video that we put out of Sean Payton, because that's awesome. And I would love to figure out that they had that plan in the locker room or in the Miller Electric Center at some point this week, because if the fact that, Liam Cohen led his press conference off with that clap back, if you will, that's all you need to know. Yeah, but does it trickle down? Absolutely it trickles down. That goes back to taking punches, and that's what we talked about just a minute ago. And when they go into halftime and you're up 1 score, to be able to finish. And, when you're up 17 going into the fourth quarter, knowing that you just blew a similar lead a month ago to Houston, and to be able to finish, that matters. And that kind of stuff gets preached throughout the week, yes, but I think it's also throughout the game, and I think that's what you saw there as well. So the grit, look, Liam Cohen gets Duval.
Yeah.
And the fact that he got it this fast is one of the distinguishing things between him and Doug Peterson. Let me tell you what I mean. Doug Peterson had a ton of success in year 1, and we all loved him. We were ready to build a statue for Doug Peterson. Were we not? Right?
Yeah, we were all in.
We go from Urban frickin' Meyer, and we're the laughingstock of the NFL yet again. And it's panic because did we just ruin the most perfect quarterback prospect of all time, and we did it in 1 season? Oh, then Doug Peterson comes in, and we win 9 freaking football games, and we go to the playoffs? We were ready to build the statue. 3 years in, he gets fired. And what did you learn about that? About how Doug never got Jacksonville.
No.
And look, a lot of people hammered him for the on-field stuff. Doug Peterson didn't forget how to coach football. The guy won a Super Bowl, right? So the guy didn't just all of a sudden forget how to coach offense. But at some level, it wasn't meshing. And I think you saw in the post-game press conferences last year, if you really were following that, and we were hammering him every single week, almost for the press conference stuff and post-game, more so than the on-the-field stuff.
He kind of checked out.
He made the fan feel like the enemy for wanting answers. That was the whole reason why, Brent asked that question. It's like you wouldn't freaking get it. And there's there's almost a forced animosity there. It's because Doug alienated himself from the fan base, from questions from the media, which obviously stemmed some from the fan base, and he just didn't get Jacksonville. And I think that was so obvious. Well, you fast forward 365 days from now or from then, and you're like, well, Liam Cohen freaking gets Jacksonville.
We're never going to get that respect.
And for the first time in my life, genuinely, Chandler, as you just said, I mean, the Jags are 11-4 for the first time in your life. Same. And, for the first time in my life, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that the head coach of the Jaguars understands the city, understands the fan base, and that's insane.
You know what I love about Liam Cohen right now is not just his energy, but how he's got this team playing. They are dominating games. They're going out there every single week, and they are playing good quality football. They look like the better team. They have consistent explosive plays. Trevor's deep accuracy these past few weeks has been off the charts.
Yeah.
He's hitting those home run passes. He's setting his feet. He looks comfortable out there. And I think people talked about the wristband, finally giving it back. Let's talk about not having that wristband. How much do you think that helped Trevor learn this offense?
Yeah.
And know what's going on? He's got it back, and it's helping now. I don't think that can be denied. But
100%.
I think Liam Cohen, he's learned this year. But you look back, we were talking about this watching the game in the studio, is the 2022 Jags, when they made it to the playoffs, it was almost like a stroke of luck. Like, they just kind of kept getting lucky in those games. They weren't dominating games. Even that game against the Titans, who were in a stumble, they had Josh Dobbs at quarterback.
Yeah.
They barely won that game to get into the playoffs. That Chargers playoff win, that was an all-time collapse by the Chargers.
Right.
The Chargers lost that game, I'd argue, more than the Jaguars won it. And you could argue otherwise. Trevor Lawrence did become a god there in that second half.
Sure.
It was a crazy game. But this Jaguars team has a different feel to it. They are gritty. They are dominating these games. They seem like a more complete football team than any Jacksonville Jaguars team we have seen in a long time.
Yeah, and I think that comes with the coaching. I mean, in my opinion, young coaching is the best. The young coaching can interact with the players. They're closer in the age gap. They respect the coaches. And me as a player, I would want a coach that has a lot of fire, give the players fire, and I think this is exactly what's going on in Jacksonville. Coaches are young, very energetic, they know how to talk, and I think they're hyping up this team.
And I think he's got the fans behind it, too. He's got the fans bought in, and the way they reach out to this community. I'm looking through the chat right now. We've got all these people talking about, like, Chad Schultz in here. He loves the chip on his shoulder that Liam has. We have all these small market mentions. He's got this city rallying behind the Jaguars. In a way, it kind of feels like a unit. It feels like a family. It seems like it's Duval against the world, and you know that's what they're preaching in that locker room. The transparency from this organization, the commitment, the energy, the way that we get to see these post-game speeches every week where he comes in. How do you like that? The way this team responds when things go wrong. There is something different and something special about this coaching staff, this organization, and this team. It starts with, it's not just Cohen. Gladstone and what he's done at GM, finding the right players and pieces for the scheme, working with the coaches. You can tell Trent Baalke did not have a great relationship with his coaches.
Of course not.
They did not work as units. Gladstone and Liam Cohen work as a unit. And you look at Tony Baselli, James Gladstone, and Liam Cohen, they are all bought in. And they have a shared vision, and they've got this team moving in the right direction. I think this is different from other spurts of success the Jaguars have had. I think this is something that's going to be sustained.
Yeah, and I'll just say real quick, because I know we got to get to break. I mean, your point's kind of proven by Trayvon Walker after the game. They pretty much asked him, what do you think about people jumping in on the bandwagon now? And he's pretty much said, bleep them. We don't want them. Don't want them. They weren't here. So, I mean, yeah, your point about, it's Jacksonville versus everybody. I mean, that it's being preached to those guys every day. And it shows on the field. And, again, we can go back to the AFC. Give me one team right now that you wouldn't pick the Jags against.
The Bills. That is the only team I'm scared of right now in the AFC.
The Browns took them to the brink today. And I know that at any point, Josh Allen can do what he did, last week? When they go on like 21 points just like that. So I'm not saying that I'm not scared of them.
I think to your point, though, the Jaguars can compete. They can beat anybody in the AFC, and I think they are genuine contenders for the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah, I'm not shaking it with anybody. I mean, if the Jags play like this, nobody's beating them. That's it.
Jason Hamby, everybody, will be joined by Mia O'Brien when we come back from this break on the 24/7 postgame show.
Welcome inside the Armor Guard exterior and gutter helmet showroom. There's a lot going on, like glass exteriors, replacement windows, and down there we have the retractable screens and awnings, plus hurricane protection. Let's talk more about those gutters, and to do that, we bring in Kevin. He's the owner, he's the expert. Why Gutter Helmet?
Well, Gutter Helmet is truly the only maintenance-free product. It lets the trash and debris go on the ground, the water wraps around and goes inside. Unlike filters, they sit on top of the gutters, and the trash and debris build up on top of filters, which requires maintenance. With Gutter Helmet, we're going to keep you off the ladder, the most dangerous thing in your garage. With Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. So get off the ladder and put on the helmet. Gutter Helmet.
Get a free estimate at gutterhelmetofnorthflorida.com. You can also call 904-762-7779 or visit the showroom on St. John's Bluff Road in Jacksonville.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
It's one of the hot spots in the area.
Welcome you to String Sports Brewery out at the beach. Big crowd on hand tonight. The fans are here.
And now the newest hot spot at the beach is open. String Sports Brewery in Jax Beach has opened its doors with rave reviews.
We're going to be fans forever.
Cozy up to the bar, grab a seat in the sports-themed restaurant, or grab a seat outside and feel that breeze coming off the beach as the weather warms. Just like the original location in Springfield, try the popular beer menu and come for lunch or dinner too, because the food is fantastic.
We got a special guest in the house. He's happy. He's feeling good. He's Trayvon Walker.
It's where we hosted Jags Report Live in the football season, and the String Sports Brewery staff can't wait to host you.
Hey, welcome back here to String Sports Brewery. And if you haven't checked out the new location in Jax Beach, you got to do it.
String Sports Brewery, now with 2 locations in Springfield and now open in Jax Beach on Penman Road.
Sun's out, suits out. That's right, it's summertime in Florida, which means it's time to say goodbye to bulking season and hello to shredding season. But if you're like me, you're having a hard time sculpting and shaping those final pounds. That is until I came and saw my friends over at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Right now, everyone is hopping on the Evolve X train, and the only destination is finding your perfect summer body. The technology uses electrical muscle stimulation and radio frequency energy to cause your muscles to contract, all while heating up those deep layers of your skin and tissue to produce collagen and reduce fat. It's like doing 1,000 sit-ups in 30 minutes. No pain, no needles, just results, right?
That's right.
So leave those winter layers back at the station and come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Hey guys, we got a new player today. I hear he's pretty good.
Heard this guy played in the NFL.
I think he's an MMA fighter. I've actually been on his show, the Brett and Austin show.
Football and fighting, that's the easy part. Let's see if I still have it on the ice. What the heck, man? Who is this guy? He's saving everything.
Leave the hockey to the pros, man. It's hockey season. Come on out and see the Icemen play. Get your tickets at JacksonvilleIcemen.com.
The Jacksonville Jaguars and their faithful are fired up. We're in the last 10 minutes of our 24/7 post-game show. I'm Noah Schlicksup. We'll be joined here in a minute by Mia O'Brien, Chandler Dantzler with me as well. I'm loving seeing the chat, everyone interacting, giving your thoughts on the game. Let's hear what you think of these next couple of weeks and these matchups coming up with the Colts and the Titans. We had some very interesting stuff going on around the NFL today. I'm loving seeing all this stuff coming back about, we don't have to worry about Liam kicking Cam Little. Jaguars fan watching from the middle of Nebraska. Shout out to Chad Schultz. Chad Schultz tuning in to this one. DK Metcalf throwing a punch out there in Detroit was something else. And the Jaguars, they put the NFL on notice, Mia O'Brien, with this win today, 34-20 over the Denver Broncos.
That they did, Noah Schlicksup. Great to be talking with you on a Sunday. A whole lot to get to, and I know there's lots of Jaguar fans that are clamoring for any and all of the content they can get their hands on. No better place to do it than Action Sports Jax. I described this one both to my friends and my family who are Jaguar fans, and as well as my friends and family who are Broncos fans, as a 12-round heavyweight fight. And ultimately, Noah, and maybe it's just because I'm trying to view this as a impartial, unbiased media member, even if, let's be real, my life's a lot easier, so is yours when the Jaguars are good, and also this town's a lot easier and a lot more fun to live in when the Jaguars are good. But this was, at least in the first half, just a great football game. You want to be having white knuckle, dare I say, butt crunching, times of the year. You want to be in those types of football games. In the 8 years that I've been covering this team, that's what this fan base has clamored for, and it's finally here. And it's not a bad thing to embrace, even if, sometimes it forces you to maybe need to have your heart palpitation monitor on sometimes, but that's okay. And then in the second half, by the way, this was still competitive, but it was not as competitive as the national media is going to try to tell you this week, which is why, don't worry, we're going to talk about this on Club 904. I already sent out the bat signal. I am making sure on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio tomorrow morning, I'm doing my very hardest from 6 a.m. when your day starts, folks. I am trying to ensure that this is not a narrative that the Broncos lost to the Jags. It is that the Jags whipped the Broncos. Accept it. It's reality.
That they did, and we love it. We now got a member of the Jacksonville media who's also national media, so it's not everyone disrespecting the Jaguars, this small market team that can go into Denver and knock off the Broncos the way they did. And something we've been talking about, the Jaguars, they dominated this game, and they managed to do that, and it seemed like they didn't win on the line of scrimmage. Just how impressive was that from this team?
Yeah, so I just got off the Locked On Jaguar Squad show too with former Jaguar Marcus Ogden, and obviously as an offensive lineman, he's always going to, go to bat for the O-lineman and go to bat for the run game. And this is something that he and I have gone back on we've gone back and forth on this the last few weeks. And I even brought it up on Friday on ESPN Las Vegas with my friend Q Myers, who I co-host on national radio with. This idea of just because your run game is only averaging 3 yards a pop does not mean your run game is unsuccessful, folks. It means that, yes, it's not necessarily having these massive 50, 60 plus yard plays that are, quite frankly, more of the abnormal. That's more of the exception as opposed to those gritty 2, 3, 4 yard pickups. And it's the idea of you want to have a run game that, quite frankly, just forces the defense to play it honest, that it is a threat. It doesn't have to be breaking 10, 12 yards a pop. It just has to simply create a multidimensional offense. And I think the Jaguars offense has been able to do that. So I don't think they got blasted off the ball the way that perhaps some people will tell you, just because they didn't run for a $190 like they did against the Los Angeles Chargers is not the end of the world. I think it was enough to force the Broncos defense to have their head on a swivel. And in a game like today, when Trevor Lawrence was locked in, that's all you needed.
That they did. Trevor Lawrence was locked in this game. He continues to play great football, and it seems like this might have been the game where he sent his message that he's arrived here for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, I think that happened like 4 weeks ago, if I'm being honest. I think the national media is going to pick up on it. Dan Orlovsky's been banging the drum for at least 2 weeks now, and now he's been vindicated. A lot of folks have been vindicated. Gus Logue came on Club 904 this week and was like, man, I just feel so happy that all the teams are defending Trevor. It's finally paying off. And I was like, yep, same. But yeah, I think that, Trevor would be the first one to tell you, and I haven't listened back just yet to what he had to say in the post-game presser. He'd be the first to tell you, like, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's one game on to the next. And I'll just leave you with this, Noah. Like, when I went into the locker room before the Jets game and I was talking to Travis Etienne and I asked about comparing the playoff push of 22 to the playoff push here in 2025, he looked at me dead in the eye and was like, I'm not talking about the playoffs. Like, we're trying to beat the Jets.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I'm talking like big picture. Like, you got to beat the Jets. It's part of the playoff. And he was like, no, I just got to beat the Jets. Like, that's it. And so Liam Cohen and this growth mindset mentality that he has brought to Jacksonville has completely reshaped how these individual human beings, let alone football players, view their assignment. And it's really impressive to watch.
Yeah, Liam Cohen's got these guys bought in. And we see it in the chat right now. Jags fans, they don't want the respect. That team doesn't want the respect. Trayvon Walker talked about it, I think, in the locker room after today. He's like,
he talked about it, Noah. Let's not bury the lead. Trayvon talked about it.
The Jags do not care for the respect. All they care about is what they got in-house. It's Duval against the world. And you see this team right now, they're competing with the best, they're beating the best, and they're starting to look not just like AFC South contenders, but potentially we could be seeing them in February if they play like this.
Yes, amen to that. Only because we got to flip on over to StreamYard, Noah. Ether Dark, I see your comment about are we upset that Cam didn't get a chance to break his own record? Keep those questions and comments coming because Club 904 is going to start 9 p.m. the stream. 904 we'll get going on actual content. We will discuss that and more there. So rest assured, folks. Noah has a million other. Noah, do you want to come into Club 904? Do you want to continue the conversation right off the top?
I'm there. Just let me know.
Folks, just so you know, this young gentleman, this 19-year-old gentleman texted me last night and he's like, who's your guest on the show? And I said, we'll see. Like, we see what the score is and then we call people. Like, I got Mike Silver in the locker room right now for me asking a bunch of questions. Like, we see what happens and we adapt. So Noah, I'll send you a StreamYard link. We'll pop you in on your phone. We'll discuss coming up here on Club 904.
Sounds good. Club 904 coming up at 904 and it sounds like I'll be there. So let's keep this party going. Mia O'Brien, thanks for joining us.
Yep. See you guys in a bit.
Got 2 minutes left here in the show. The Jacksonville Jaguars close out a big-time win. Takeaways from today's show, Chandler, let's talk about it. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're earning their respect. They don't want it. Trevor Lawrence, he has arrived, and everyone's starting to pick up on that. Liam Cohen has asserted himself as one of the top coaches and got this team playing like one of the top teams in the league, and this team is different from the Jaguars of the past.
Yeah, 100%, and you can see that, in the locker room stuff, the videos they put out weekly, the hunt they post on YouTube. You can see this is a whole different team. This team wants to win. This team, you can tell they're all friends. They all care for each other. They all compete for each other. This is definitely a different team, and what a time to be alive in Jacksonville right now. Yeah,
the Jaguars are competing, and they are looking towards not just the playoff berth, potentially a 1 seed, some big-time playoff games in Duval, and potentially, hey, don't start ringing the bell yet, but I am.
Yeah.
We might be looking at a Super Bowl contender here in Jacksonville in the first year under Liam Cohen. We've got plenty more post-game coverage coming up, but first, let's send you over to Club 904 with Mia O'Brien taking up to 10 o'clock on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hi, I'm Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville. Whether you're looking for a side-by-side, ATV, motorcycle, or scooter, we have what you need.
Get a Moto Guzzi Stone Corsa for just $235 a month.
or a Triumph Trident.